One thing it seems that many of y'all forgetting is that you have to pay to play. Even if you really think as a grown-ass man that granddaddy and them were not faithful men, say granddaddy and them did have second and third families outside of the household and granddaddy was paying all the bills, granddaddy was still paying all the bills at both houses. That's what y'all not gonna talk about.
She actually makes a solid point there. Back, days of the plant, granddaddy definitely did have, probably had some side pieces, and he made sure they was taken care of. The only difference I would say with today's era, side piece wasn't asking for a Chanel bag. Side piece wasn't asking for a G wagon. The expectations were a lot more realistic, and the dollar stretched a lot further back then.
That granddaddy had money and granddaddy had to pay to play. So if he wanted that woman to shut up and not tell his wife that he was cheating, he had to pay her. Listen, and then still kept grandma in mink coats, okay, Cadillacs and Lincolns. Y'all out here pretending that that wasn't a thing. If y'all really want to talk facts, granddaddy was going to the plant every single day, working overtime, got in a skilled trade. If he had other women, he was paying them other women. Some of them, granddaddy was paying a whole nother mortgage at a different house that grandma didn't even know.
Again, like I said, I mean, she so far I actually agree with her overall premise. Like I said, back then, granddaddy knew, yeah, he did have to pay to play. My only, uh, I guess, objection in the matter is the way the money stretched back then. I mean, granddad might have been paying a second mortgage, but that mortgage was probably like $150. You know, comparable to today, you're gonna have women thinking that you're gonna be paying 3, 4 thousand for a luxury apartment downtown, 2,500 a month for a Mercedes Benz G wagon. Like I said, I think the expectations, side pieces were a lot more reasonable, had more reasonable expectations back then compared to today.
About because grandma wasn't suffering, the kids weren't lacking at anything or for anything. That's what y'all grown ass men, some of y'all don't understand. Some of y'all don't understand that granddaddy still took care of the household, even though he had another household, and then he was taking care of both households at the same time. Y'all just want to be out here just a womanizing and having sex and putting y'all penises because you feel like you deserve all these women. Granddaddy had money and paid the bills for everybody still. So all y'all.
I mean, so far, like I said, I'm pretty much with her. She makes a solid point. I mean, a lot of these dudes do want to be womanizers, do want to have multiple women, and think that it doesn't come with any type of cost. Um, yeah, I mean, like I said, I agree. You definitely it's definitely got to pay to play if that's the lane you want to go down. I mean, thinking that you're going to have multiple women and you're going to be able to, you know, do and come as you please, and think that's not going to come with a cost. I do think that's insane. I just think that the price tag that's been put on it is absurd. Like I said, grandma wasn't asking for exotic vacations. She wasn't asking for $100,000 vehicles. She wasn't asking for 3, 4, 5 thousand dollar a month luxury apartments. Like I said, the expectations were a lot more reasonable.
Broke asses out here. I ain't gonna have 50-50. No. 50-50 men were not getting the women that was your grandmama, your great grandmama, and some of y'all mama.
Like I said, overall, I mean, I agree with her overall premise. Let's look at some of the comment sections from this video and see what they're saying. Okay, it says girl facts. Sometimes grandma knew about the other woman but kept quiet because her and her kids' needs were met. Okay. I mean, there's a difference between your needs being met and you want to live an extravagant, multi-million dollar lifestyle for being a side piece. Those are two different things. It's one thing to have a roof over your head and the kids to have clothes on their backs and food in their bellies. It's another thing to be living, like I said, like a celebrity. Someone says you got to pay the cost to be the boss. We have you tell the truth. My grandmother's brother Had other family living next door to my great aunt, and both houses were paid off. I mean, that was possible back then on a on a plant salary. Like I said, the dollar stretching much further than it did now. Somebody said my granny was the mistress. He paid everything, even the kids that weren't his. Okay, so yeah, interesting. He said, I got another comment that says, you ain't lying. He paid bills. My granddaddy had, what does that say? Dang, I missed the comment. Okay, here we go. You ain't lying. He paid the bills. My granddaddy had trades, carpenter, brick mason, and sold moonshine on the side. Okay, let's see what else. Somebody said rent was $300 for both houses. That's the point that I tried to touch on earlier. Like the cost of those things back when your daddy was working at the GM and Ford plant. The money stretched much further. I mean, like I said, a house you could. These women wasn't expecting to have no $1 million house. They wasn't expecting to have $100,000 sedan or $100,000 truck out front and a $5,000 purse. They wanted basic necessities met. Kids was good, house was paid, and food. They wasn't going on fancy 5-star vacations, all this other extra stuff that these women think that they're entitled to now. But let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think, I mean, if if you want to have multiple women, do you have to pay to play? Does she make a good point? Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.